Excuse me, Mr. Cobain, I just want a chance to speak. I don't mean to annoy or bother you or disturb you while you sleep. I admire what you did, cause you wrote music from your heart. The media labeled it grunge, but I just labeled it art. I feel we're in the same boat from what I see or where I stand. They try to label this rap rock, which is two poets in a rock band. If I could travel back in time and carry out one simple plan, I'd transform into your shotgun and I'd make that trigger jam. It's not the fact that you sold millions of units, you turned music into a movement. Seattle became the blueprint, so I'll try to carry the voice of 1,000 teen spirits. Your memory lives on through your songs, thoughts, and lyrics. If I could live through you
for just one day of my life,
of my dead love. If I could hold on to
just one memory
of my dead love. If I could paint a picture like the portrait that you left behind
for the world to see
of my dead love. If I could hold on to
for just one day of my life,
dedicated to my dead love.
Excuse me, Mr. Bruce Lee, if I could have a moment of your time. I just wanna share some thoughts that have been going on in my mind. You see, you're like a combination of honor, passion, and glory. I gotta tell ya, I've been inspired by your entire life story. You prove to the world that the size of a man doesn't matter. It's the strength of the mind that makes one a true master. I read every chapter that surrounds your mysterious death. I mean, we're all gonna die someday, at least you died without regrets. You left us with a collection, a beautiful introspection. I studied your philosophies, then use it towards my profession. So when I chase my hopes, I'll just read one of your quotes. They'll always be a part of my life like music notes. Farewell to the dragon.
If I could live through you
for just one day of my life,
of my dead love. If I could hold on to
just one memory
of my dead love. If I could paint a picture like the portrait that you left behind
for the world to see
of my dead love. If I could hold on to
for just one day of my life,
dedicated to my dead love.
From the lyrics of John Lennon,
the spirit of Bob Marley,
the mind of Amadeus,
the personality of Chris Farley,
the voice of Janis Joplin,
the comedy of Andy Kaufman,
the rising star of Reggie Lewis before he collapsed on a court in Boston,
the genius of Randy Rhoads,
the way he played,
the way he taught,
the hands of a pioneer,
the Boogie Down Productions of Scott LaRock,
from the future of Big L
to the love of Sid and Nancy,
the national hero in Trudeau,
the great pride in John Candy,
the potential in River
the
Phoenix,
expectations of Brandon Lee,
the tragedies of Easy
Richie Valens,
and Buddy Holly,
the rise and fall of Owen Hart,
the beauty of Marilyn Monroe,
the creative sounds of Jimi Hendrix,
the innovations of Joey Ramone,
the power of Phil Lynott,
JFK,
and James Dean,
Drazen Petrovic and Pelly Lindbergh
would have died for their teams,
the past of Frank Sinatra
to the present of Lane Staley,
the crown of Elvis Presley,
and the career of Patrick Swayze. If I could live through you
for just one day of my life,
if I could hold on to
just one memory
of my dead love, if I could paint a picture like the portrait that you left behind
for the world to see
of my dead love, if I could hold on to
for just one day of my life,
dedicated to my dead love.
This is my bittersweet symphony, my symphony of destruction. So cling to these words like a dying man's last confessions. Let's look through the eyes of a wife that's been abused. She's been battered and bruised. Sadly, it's herself that she's accused. Confused by why love has become so painful. Scared of her own image. How could a coward hit an angel? In a house full of hatred, marriage becomes a snake pit. Till death do us part. I thought vows were supposed to be sacred.
Let's take the story back to before he became a monster, to when he was a young child and abused by his grown father. Repeating a vicious cycle, haunting like the mask of Michael Myers. Rejection adds to the the blazing fires. Evil's not born, it's taught like a plant seeded. I guess you treat unto others as you were once treated. I try to find my way out, but you keep pulling me back in.
How many skeletons are in your closet?
I try to live my own life, but that's so hard to imagine.
How many snakes are crawling in your garden?
I try to find my way out, but you keep pulling me back in.
How many skeletons are in your closet?
I try to live my own life, but that's so hard to imagine.
How many snakes are crawling in your garden?
Let's travel through the mind of a social misfit, wearing spikes around his wrist, black clothes, your thoughts are twisted, enlisted as a loner, but not by choice. Cause the skinniest kid in the hallway really doesn't have a voice. He's spit on and kicked on, and picked on by many who fully don't understand that his revenge will be far from friendly. With a shotgun and a mask, and a letter to say goodbye. Whatever happened to the fun and fast times of Rich Mount High?
Let's flip a coin and take a look at the other side. He's labeled as a bully, fully dying on the inside, but on the outside he's charismatic, popular athlete, seeks attention through violence. Father left him without guidance, a predator amongst prey, time bomb with a faulty fuse, a wild animal walking in dead man's shoes. Front page news story with no time left to run. So let's pray for mercy as he nervously stares down the barrel of a gun.
I try to find my way out, but you keep pulling me back in.
How many skeletons are in your closet?
I